Recap of the season opener and what we learned, a new segment called Kings and Fools, listener questions, and the home opener preview. All that and more coming up on Boot Room 801. Welcome back to the Boot Room, everyone. My name is Giles, and I'm joined as always by my co-host and wife, Kayla.
Hi!
And we've got a lot to go over. First, we've got some breaking news coming from the Utah Royals, and Kayla's going to take us through that.
Yeah, so the Utah Royals released their third kit that's going to go along with the Yellow Ascent kit and then the Great Salt Lake kit, which is the Swarm. It's all based on bees and the queen bee and the tie that we're all better together and that the hive can't work without one another. So it's a blackout kit, super cool looking. They got the inspiration for the bees from us getting the nickname of being the beehive state. So it's really cool. I really like it. And it's cool to see that one and the Salt Lake kit to be so Utah centric.
Yeah, it's nice to see a like tangible tie to the state in the kit. I love seeing that with RSL and with the Royals. It's something that I really appreciate, being a big Utah lover myself.
But yeah, it's been really cool. And I think that it's nice to see the unification of all of the teams in Utah.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it yet, you can check it out on our socials, or you can check it out on the Utah Royals socials. It's a super cool looking kit. You really should take the time to check it out.
There's lots of little details that are really cool.
Mm-hmm. It's just been banger after banger on the kits from all of the Utah soccer clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So really fun to see that. Let's jump on into the recap of Vancouver, because this match ended up being a much more
interesting.
Yeah, interesting, anxiety-inducing.
Well, it started off with the availability list in the middle of the week.
Yeah, when we got the availability list, that was concerning. First thing that we saw with it was just how long it was. Because we had out Emeka Anelli with a knee injury suffered on January 19th in training. Juan Jose Arias with an abductor injury that he suffered in October of last year with his former club. We had Kobe Henry, who was listed as questionable with a hamstring injury from February 13th against the Galaxy. Lucas Engel and Diego Luna with knee injuries suffered on February 18th in training. Victor Olatunji with an eye injury suffered on February 18th in training. And then immigration issues with visa procurement, we had Juan Manuel Sanabria, Morgan Gilavogi, and Stein Spearings. All players that ended up, even the questionable ones, not being available for the match.
And so many of them are starters a lot of times. They are our starting 11. So 7, 8 of them that were completely out was a little terrifying. So we were like, who's going to start on the field?
Yeah, I was so stressed for Pablo. Just like, how do you make that kind of decision? And going into it, he had said that they didn't have their starting 11 set until the day before.
The day before.
And a lot of the young guys that got the start, they didn't know that they were getting the start until the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kayla, why don't you take us through that match with what the starting 11 ended up being?
Yeah, it was an interesting starting 11. They did really, really well. So it was obviously Cabral in the net. So hats off to our captain Cabral. And then in the back, we knew we were going to have Gladden Yedlin. And then we added Junka as the back three, which is a very solid back three. Junka's been fairly good there lately.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did a 3-4-3 instead of the 3-5-2, so that was interesting. So the 4 in the middle was Alex Katranis and Noah Kaliskan. And then the new guy coming in was Luka Moisa, 17 years old, and his first debut to RSL and to MLS. So that was exciting to see. And then Gozo on the right side. Zach Booth's MLS and RSL debut in the front. with Peel and then Aiden Hezarkhani, who has played minutes for RSL, but this was his first start. So only 5 of the players are over the age of 25, and 5 players who are RSL Academy products. So the 5 that were Academy products are OG Justin Glad, and then Zach Booth actually had originally been at the Academy. We have him on loan. And then Hezarkhani, Moisa, and Gozo. So pretty exciting to see how much Academy product there is, and kind of shows a lot of what the Academy can do. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice to see our young players like stepping up to an opportunity like this and then making the most of it as well.
Yeah. So definitely very intimidating. I think the FOTMOB notes were that there were about 23,500 fans.
Mm-hmm.
And you can bet that about 2,300 or 23,495 of them were Vancouver fans, and whatever 5 that were RSL fans that were there. So very intimidating, especially for those young guys to come in and play. And even Pablo said that BC Place is always a hard pitch to play at.
Mm-hmm.
But they held their own really well, especially against the Western Conference champions from last year, who also have Thomas Muller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that cannot be understated, how hard that would have been. Like, for me, I would have been like a ball of nerves, but they all held themselves really well.
Yeah, just mentally, just knowing that you've got a player like Muller, and then just a high-performing team that was in the Cup final last year.
Runners up.
And knowing that there wasn't a lot of turnover in the squad.
So within the first few minutes, we ended up with a free kick kind of close to the goal. And surprisingly, Aiden Hezarkhani is the one that actually took the free kick. So that was impressive and ballsy of him to step right up to it. But he took it, and he was so close that it kind of just went right over the bar.
Yeah, it was close. It was ballsy for him to take it. Oh, it would have been so sweet if it had gone in.
There were a couple other chances. In the 37th minute, Moisa got the ball and was able to get it to Catranos, and then Catranos was able to cross to Peel, and it was a goal that was called offside.
By the thinnest of margins.
It's still debated on if it was offside.
Oh, yeah.
It was the nitpickiest.
Yeah, it was the nitpickiest offside. It was like by a kitten's whisker. And really, it could have gone either way. And I'm sure that if we'd been able to review it properly with like the assisted offside technology, it would have been called a good goal. Pablo talked about specifically in an interview on ESPN 700 that these major European leagues, they have this VAR offside assistance for their calls to make sure they get it right. They have the semi-assisted technology that paints the line on the field so that you can see conclusively, was this offside? Was this not offside? And if we had had that in this game, it probably could have overturned that offside call and changed the whole momentum for the game.
Yeah, it definitely was the most frustrating one. There were a couple other moments earlier than that. I think like around 18 minutes when Ari got the ball and could have given it to either Hezarkhani or Booth and decided to take the shot himself and put it right in the back, in like the side of the net.
Yeah.
Off the goal. So that was definitely like an experience thing, I think, of learning to trust the players that are with you. So we went into the half 0-0, 0-0, whatever you want to call it. And in the 50th minute, there was a dangerous tackle against Moisa by Emmanuel Sabe, put his cleats into his shin. It got called as a yellow card, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And then he called the game to move forward. And they did not do VAR.
Just ridiculous.
And since then, since the game, the MLS Disciplinary Council has stated that after further review, Sabi does have a 1-game suspension and a fine of an undisclosed amount. So it would have been a red card.
Yeah,
should have been a red card that was not called as a red card. So definitely frustrating, definitely changed the momentum of the game because it felt like they were like, oh, well, now we can kind of do whatever we want because within a few minutes later, Vancouver gets their first goal because they had someone else on the field still.
Yeah, if you think about what it should have been, because now we've had an investigation back in where they said it should have been a red card, so they should have been down a player. Realistically, they should have been down a goal and down a player, and there's no way that that situation happens. It does come off of a defensive breakdown between Glad and Moisa, and that's just gonna be because
Moisa's so young and hasn't been with the team forever.
Yeah, they're still getting used to playing together. But does that moment even happen if Sabi is sent off and we're already up a goal? If that call, like if both of those calls go RSL's way, it completely changes the game and we end up leaving with 3 points instead of dropping them.
So definitely frustrating. Gozo had a couple really close chances. There was one in the 52nd minute that was kind of deflected, and
Just
then
went wide.
Yeah, and then in the 87th minute is actually caught by Takaoka.
Yeah.
So definitely a frustrating finish, but listening to Pablo in the post match, he was so impressed and so proud of the boys or the guys, the players, for how they conducted themselves and for how well they played. I mean, we outshot them 13-10. We outshot them on goal 5-2. Like, it could have been ours. They just had one more big moment than we did, and it paid off, unfortunately. He talked about the mentality of the men and how well they were able to compose themselves and keep themselves composed in a very tough place to play. And so I think that it's very promising for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think it's important to put focus on the fact that yeah, we lost this match and RSL came away with an L, but it was not because RSL played poorly. RSL played very well, and especially when you consider the age of the roster and how many pro minutes each of those players have seen. Because it is mind-boggling that such a young roster can step onto the pitch with the defending Western Conference champions
and hold their own.
And hold their own. And hold them to a 1-0 loss after some terrible calls. And realistically, they had a shot to win it. There was no point in this game where they were out of it. They were in the chase for the game the entire way through.
Till the very last whistle.
It wasn't a blowout like some people were saying it should be. Looking online, there were so many people that are not familiar with RSL's academy system and not familiar with the Monarchs players. They just saw that, oh, these guys are young, they're going to get killed. And no, they didn't. And it was very funny to see some of the chatter online. There was one in particular where somebody was watching with their family, and whenever a Vancouver player would end up on the ground after getting out dribbled or out challenged, their family was going, "Oh, you just got schooled by a high schooler." And it was so funny to see that and think about it. Like, Luka Moisa's like what, a senior in high school?
Yep. He's 17.
And you imagine that, like, someone of the age of Luka Moisa, someone of the age of Aiden Hezarkhani, and then even Xavier Gozo, who graduated from high school last year. I think back to when I was that age, and I could not have stepped onto a professional pitch. And even in the sport that I played, I grew up playing ice hockey. I could not have gone on to NHL ice to compete. I would not have been able to do it mentally. I would have stepped on that ice and been so starstruck I wouldn't have been able to score.
And not only that, but to go on the pitch away. On the pitch against, in opposing fans.
Yeah, in a hostile
in enemy territory. Like, it's one thing to go to get on the field when it's your home. When it's your home turf, your home field. It is completely a different thing to be going against the best.
Mm-hmm. It's
The mentality, like
yeah,
Pablo said, their mentality and their mindset was something to be praised.
yeah, for sure. These young players, they, I mean, they deserve every ounce of praise that they're getting
Mm-hmm.
because they really took this opportunity and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
How exciting is that for us to be able to see that and know that this is a heavily rotated squad for us? We have so many players out for immigration, so many players out for injury, and this is our quote unquote B team.
Mm-hmm.
And they come out and hold their own against the Western Conference champs. That's
Very
nothing to sneeze
promising.
at. Yeah, like
It's
that's
way more promising than last year.
yeah. This time last year, like what we were getting killed, like what 5-0 to San Jose.
Oh my gosh, it was awful.
Yeah, so we're in a much better position this year, and it's very exciting going into like the next game and into the later season games when we have the full squad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, we're not going to have the full squad ready to go by next week. It's probably going to be match 4 or 5, according to
Mm-hmm.
Pablo. But we're on such a good track with what we've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us into our new segment that we're wanting to introduce. It's going to be called Kings and Fools, and kind of basing that off of the stars in hockey, where we give 3 stars, your first star, second star, third star for the games. So we're gonna give out 3 crowns, and then go over the fool part, whether that's something foolish that RSL did or something foolish the opposing team has done or any moment in the match. So that's what this segment's going to be. So Kayla, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, so I will award my first crown to Hezarkhani. I think Aiden Hezarkhani did a great job of stepping up to the plate. I guess not the plate, stepping up to the pitch. Wrong sport. But he did really, really well. He took that free kick right in the beginning. He took every single corner. He and there were quite a few corners there in the beginning for some reason. There were a lot in that one little bit. There was like corner, corner, corner. And he took all of them and he did really, really well. He pressed the defense. He was always in the front, always ready to assist and take whatever he could. And so that was really impressive to see. The second one is Luca Moisa. I think that um, his poise and his ability to stay level headed throughout the game is definitely something to be praised. Even after he took that knock in his shin, he still was very much like, oh, get back up and do the game. Like he just kept going, and that was just very commendable. And then my third crown, I think I'm gonna give it to Gozo. I love the kid. He did so good. He just kept pressing. I think that if he had a couple more shots or if it was a different goalie, I think he would have gotten it in.
Yeah.
It was that close. And so, yeah, those are my 3. And then my fool's moment, I think it has to be the Moisa yellow card fumble. I think it really changed the trajectory and the momentum. It halted it for us because Luca started to play a little more timid. I mean, after getting hit like that, that's pretty hard. And so I think if that had gone our way, I think that may have changed the trajectory. And unfortunately, it didn't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when that gets missed. We've already talked about it at length, but it's very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What are your crowns? Your kings and fools?
Well, my first crown's going to Luca Moisa. Can't say enough good things about Luca Moisa's performance. It was really something to behold.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, he's so young, but he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't play like it. He is a monster player,
Mm-hmm.
and he just balled out from the time that he hit the pitch to the time that he was subbed out. I was so impressed. My second crown is going to Kalaskan,
Mm-hmm.
who I don't feel like has been recognized enough for his contributions in this game.
He's the underdog.
Like he
was the
did
underdog all season last year too.
he did so well to facilitate play and to, I don't know, his work rate was awesome. And we saw a lot of what Yedlin talked about in an interview earlier this month, where Kaliskan, Yedlin said, has just a very high soccer IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And so we saw that time and time again in this match. Kaliskan, he has the brain for the game, and it's cool to see. And it's nice to see somebody smart like that in the pivot position where he can kind of direct traffic. My third crown going to Rafa Cabral. The goal that went in, I don't put that on Cabral. That was the defensive breakdown. But the only reason that we were in it at the end was Cabral. I think his leadership and the poise and the calming presence he gives to our young guys to get that awesome performance out of them. But then also the confidence of knowing that you have a phenomenal keeper behind you.
Oh, he had some miraculous saves in that game.
It was great to watch. And so his overall performance there really kept RSL
alive.
Yeah, kept them in the game the whole way through.
It never felt like it was like, oh well, it's time to give up, or oh well, I guess that's all we got. Like they were always fighting, and they were always going for it, and so that was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was really just some awesome leadership and steadiness from Cabral that gets him my third crown.
Mm-hmm.
My fool's moment, we kind of already talked about a little bit of one I was going to say was the Peel pass fumble where he didn't pass and he shot, but that's just something that goes with experience, and that as he works under Victor Olatunji and Morgan Guilavogui, like those kind of moments are going to become more few and far between. So I think I'm going to give my actual fool's moment to the offside call. Because that was a massive swing in momentum. And if that had gone in what I believe is the correct direction, then RSL goes up 1-0, and you have a scrambling Vancouver team wondering how they are losing to a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
So that's the moment that I'm giving my fool's moment to, is that bungled call. Overall, great game. We learned a lot about our new guys, and they were composed on the field. They were also composed off the field. I was very impressed with their interviews that they've given since the game, and you can find those on our YouTube, and I highly recommend that you watch them because the composure that these kids are showing is just incredible.
I was not that composed at 17 years old.
Yeah, me neither. I'm very impressed with them. I'm impressed with the academy system that is producing these players.
Yeah.
I think Gozo, he blazed a trail for them. And all of these subsequent players are really stepping up and taking these opportunities and taking them well. So it's pretty impressive to see.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. I think we'll probably see a few of them on Saturday as well. Sounds like there's still couple questionable people, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But I think that we'll see more, and I'm excited to see them in person, as well as being able to see them in a home environment and see how fans cheering them and not booing them is going to be helpful.
Yeah. So looking ahead towards the home opener, we're recording this Thursday night, so we've got 2 sleeps to the home opener, and like you just mentioned, we have some updates on availability. We don't have a full list yet, but we do have confirmed. It was announced at the season ticket member town hall, and then later confirmed in an interview that Pablo gave today, that Morgan Guilavogui, his visa is good, so he will be available for Saturday. based off of match sharpness and fitness, he may not be starting. He may be coming off the bench, but he will be available. We have Sanabria's visa cleared. So, again, based off of his fitness and how he's feeling, we'll either see him off the bench or maybe in the next match. Lucas Engel is available and most likely will start. We have Stein Spearings, whose visa is approved. It's all done. It's completed. But he hasn't trained since Portugal, so probably not going to see him off the bench.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit longer. But I think that it's just exciting to know that the visas are good, which means that they can start training with the team and getting that connection and unity with the rest of the team. I think that that'll be exciting. The game is on Saturday, and we're so excited. It's been far too long since we've been in that stadium with a game. So the home opener is on Saturday, February 28th at 5:30. So it's a little bit of a weird time.
A little bit earlier.
But it'll be it looks to be great weather too. So
yeah,
everyone needs to be there. Be in your seats, cheer them on, watch the warm-ups. It's so worth it to be there early. There's some fun stuff that happens in the stadium.
And I loved what Dunny said about it on their TV show with Spence Checketts and Brian Dunseth. Dunny gave a challenge to all the RSL fans to get there early enough to be butts in seats for warm-ups because of the difference it makes for the players. And he said from his perspective as a former player that having the fans there and having them there early and seeing the stadium fill up, it makes a huge difference. And like the guys are they're gonna need it. This is a challenging Seattle team. They're consistently good, but we can hold up. We've seen that, and we are going to be playing without Diego Luna and without Victor Olatunji.
Yep, they're still recovering.
Yeah, their injuries are going to take another probably week or two, from what Pablo said today. Fingers crossed that it's a week and not two. We will see how that goes for Saturday with the full lineup, but we do encourage you to be there, be early. If you're not in there butts in seats for warm-ups, then be with us at the tailgate and the march in.
That one's always really fun to go be a part of too.
Yeah, it's so fun and so exciting because you get all these fans together and they're singing, chanting. It is something else. I remember my first time with it. It was just like my brain was just like in its happy place. I didn't realize that this was a thing that could happen,
and
it was so
fun.
Cool. With the home opener, it's against Seattle again, 2 years in a row now. We have a good history against Seattle. Kayla, you were looking it up.
Yeah, we have 19 wins against them. So our record is 19-17-9 against them in all 45 meetings. Yeah. Seattle is winless in Utah since 2012. That's 14 years. Yeah. So we are keeping that record.
That is a streak that I want to maintain for the rest of my natural life. So if we can just make sure that happens, that would be great. So everybody be there, be cheering, be loud. This is where we can really show that America First Field is a fortress, and we can do our part to support our players on the field, make a difference for them.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. We always have a good time when we play against Seattle. I think that it's kind of almost a rivalry. I don't know. It's pretty fun.
It's a rivalry.
Yeah. And so it'll be interesting to be up against them. I think Pablo was talking about it in that ESPN 700 interview, that something that is a boon for Seattle is that they don't have a lot of turnover a lot of times. They kind of keep the same squad a lot of year over year with very little turnover. But that can kind of be a double-edged sword in that RSL has a lot of film that they can watch and kind of see how they play.
And conversely, with RSL's roster being so heavily rotated and with so many new players coming in and players who don't have a lot of MLS minutes, there's not much film for Seattle to watch.
We're the wild card.
Going into it, RSL kind of has that element of surprise against Seattle. Hopefully we see Seattle getting overcome by their nerves coming in. I mean, last year when they came in, it was right out the gate. It was it the own goal first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Nuhu scores on himself, becomes the highest scoring player on RSL without playing for RSL.
Mm-hmm.
And
Luna ties him up pretty shortly afterwards, but
yeah, but for a brief moment, the highest scoring player for our team didn't play on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just too funny to me. So hopefully we can have a repeat of that again, because that was just so fun to roast him
still
over.
Playing there.
I mean, it would just be fun to roast another Seattle player for an own goal in Sandy again.
Yeah.
2 years in a row. That'd be really fun. We are very much looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to seeing how the 11 that we put on the field matches up with the existing Sounders roster, especially where they are kind of distracted by Champions Cup as well. So maybe that'll give us a little bit of an edge. Maybe they'll be tired.
Yeah. You never know.
So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited. But my prediction for this game, I'm predicting a 2-0 win for RSL. If Gilavogi comes off the bench, I'm predicting at least 1 goal contribution from him and a goal contribution from Gozo.
I say 2-1. I am hopeful, but we're still kind of figuring out that back three. Still kind of figuring out our new formation. So I would love a shutout, but I think it'll be 2-1. But we're still going to win. And I still think that Gozo is going to be our first goal for RSL.
I mean, it makes sense. He is a proven scorer. And if his preseason form carries over, then we're going to see multiple goals.
Oh, yeah.
I would love
great.
Oh, wouldn't it be great to have a Gozo hat trick in the home opener?
That'd be insane. That'd be so awesome.
That'd be nice. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be awesome if it did. Anytime that the team can outscore my predictions, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
I'll happily be wrong. Again, kickoff at 5:30 on Saturday. Hoping to see y'all there. We're going to be there in the North End. I'm going to be there with some new flags.
Shout out Colonial Flag for getting that rush order for you.
Yeah, they were awesome. Colonial Flag did a fantastic job on the flags. And then also when I reached out just to see, hey, can I get an update? This is what my flags are for and why I want them before this date. They called me the next business day and told me that I can expect my flags the next day. And they were there. It was awesome. They turned out great. I have one flag that is for my dad. It's a memorial flag for him, and then one flag for Section 26. So shout out to our fellow Section 26ers. Very excited to show those off. Not sponsored by Colonial Flag. They just did a really good job for us. And
like to shout them out.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. They did awesome. But we have some listener takes and questions, so we're going to get to those before we wrap up. First one that we have was a take on the Vancouver RSL match. And they said, my take from the match is the refs still hate RSL, and the younger guys were phenomenal. And while I understand where they're coming from with how often the calls don't go our way, and especially last year, it can definitely feel pretty personal. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the refs of maybe it's just knocking rust off, but then also a lack of available technology that I put more on the shoulders of the league. But yeah, missing that red was ridiculous. Blatant. So that felt a little bit like last year where we were getting all those bad calls in a row. So hopefully that trend doesn't continue.
Yeah, this is a one and done.
Then our next one was kind of along the lines with the refs. It says, what actions is the league going to take in punishing the referees for the missed red card? That was definitely a clear and obvious red, and it didn't even go to the monitor. I'm glad Sabi got suspended, but I think that the referee should also be held accountable for such a blatant miscall. And what are your opinions on it? So, for that, I'm actually going to go to something that was in the Salt Lake Till We Die chat. So, shout out Javen, who was
For
able
some
to.
context.
Yeah, he was able to shed some light on this. He had a conversation with the PRO referee from last season after the Diego Luna red card fiasco at
New
Red
York
Bulls.
Red Bulls.
In his conversation with this referee, he was quoted as saying, "Every game is graded, and if a referee has a failing performance, this will affect their future assignments. Now, keep in mind, let's say I screwed up on a Saturday. I have my games for the next 3 weeks, airfare, hotel, etc. So they're not likely going to yank me for the next 3 weeks of games without considerable cost and disruption. However, the next round of assignments, I'm not likely to see the field and will be taking a break in 3 weeks. There are circumstances where a referee would be pulled for the very next game, but this would have to be an extreme, really bad error in judgment." And then at the time of the conversation, he mentioned that there was 2 instances he could think of where a referee was pulled for the next match. So that level of discipline is rare, but does happen. In this case,
I think it's just going to be the grade.
yeah, I think he's just going to get a bad grade. Like the
entire
team will get a
team.
bad grade, and then it will kind of work itself out on like internally. But I'm going to choose to trust that process. And I know for me, I wouldn't want my performance reviews made public. So,
to the whole world.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So I'm going to choose to give a little grace to the referees.
I mean, having to make such a quick response to things where you're trying to have your eyes as much as possible on all of the field, but you're only going to be able to see so much. You have to make those judgments in the moment. And so sometimes it goes the way and sometimes it doesn't, and that's why we have these checks and balances to make sure that they are being as impartial as possible.
And hopefully they learn from it to be able to avoid this in subsequent matches. Because, like, yeah, I'm glad that Sabi got the fine and he got the suspension, but it doesn't really help us because we still lost the game. Hopefully the officiating team can take this and learn from it, and maybe next time that they're questionable on this, they just go to the monitor to be safe. The second part of this person's comment was a shout out. They said, also, Moisa and Hezarkhani looked really good, and I'm excited to see more of them this season. And a special shout out to Moisa, who was, quote, an absolute baller, which we perfectly agree with. That's very true.
Where Moisa stands today.
Yeah.
I mean, every day, but especially today.
And it's very deserved. He earned it. In the same way that Gozo earned it last year, and Diego Luna has earned it. If you perform well on the field, you'll be recognized off of it.
Yep.
Before we wrap up here, we got one more question, and this one is about fan stuff and match day in general. This is, what can I do to make best use of my season tickets, and what are some of the best perks or benefits?
I think for me, the best way to utilize, like, sorry, say the first part again.
It says, what can I do to make best use of my season tickets, and what are some of the best perks or benefits?
So I think that the best way to benefit is to use the discounted tickets.
Yeah.
You get a discount as a season ticket member for other tickets. And I think that if you can get more people in the stands, get more people to the games, they'll see your love for it. They'll see the people around you that love it, and they'll want to come again. And they'll want to come again and again and again. And maybe they'll become season ticket members, and maybe they'll become bring their friends and more, because this is a community event and we want everyone to be there.
And if we want to grow the club and grow its influence, the best thing that we can do is bring our friends in. And this is how we got my mom to be a season ticket holder.
Mm-hmm.
We brought her with us, and it was after my dad had passed away, so we were trying to look at a way to kind of cope with that and learn to
Bring some joy.
learn to live in our new world. And the RSL family embraced my mom in such a cool way that it changed the way our family viewed the club as a whole. Like, I already loved it, was already sold, fan for life. Now my whole family is.
Mm-hmm.
And that came from getting my mom to the games. And then it came from the fans at the games and how they treated her.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's also another very important thing when you're a season ticket member, to remember that your treatment of others can help
influence.
It can help make lifelong fans out of other people. So get them to the games and share the experience and the culture with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like the other benefits, like the discounts in the team store and all that, but that's kind of secondary. The season ticket member appreciation night is something that's really cool. Again, it's a time where you get to have some exclusive access to like players, to get things signed. There's activities, but the best part is the people who are there. Through our season tickets, we've met some incredible people. But Javen and Janelle Hughes, they're fantastic people. They've been great to our family. Shout out to them. Shout out to Heidi, who we also met through season ticket member stuff. Like, we've met all these incredible people. Like Souza and the Riot Brigade, and our friends from Los Caballeros Reales, and all of these other groups. We've met and made some really great friends, all from the season ticket member experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, top 3 benefits are the events you get to go to, the discounts that you can get on tickets to bring friends in to grow the fan base and like grow your RSL family, and then the lifelong friends that you make from it.
Yep, that's what I would say.
Yeah,
and that's what I did say.
Yeah, it's awesome. So if you're not a season ticket member, I highly recommend it. It's
worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's worth it every single time.
But that is all we have time for today. So, Kayla, any closing thoughts that you want to get out before we get out of here?
Go RSL, and I'll see you at the game.
Well, thank you all for listening. As always, you can find us on Instagram, X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook. You can listen on all your favorite podcast outlets, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube now. And then you can also find us on TikTok. And you can find all of that information on our website, bootroom801.com. You can also find our listener question form there, so you can submit questions for the show anytime.
And you can be anonymous. You don't even have to put your name.
Exactly. So whatever you're comfortable with, you can jump in and join the discussion there. Thank you all for joining us in the Boot Room this week. We cannot wait to see you on Saturday, and we'll talk to you again at the Boot Room next week.
Okay, bye!